When do I get my money from the German government if I did a tax return? Yeah, this depends. First of all, when do you do your taxes? If you're now in January or February and then you say, okay, let's do my taxes, then it might take a little bit longer. Because in the normal cases, the so-called Finanzamt, the German government, starts with the year 2025 around about March. So if you say, okay, you do it in February or January, then it might take up to 12 or 16 weeks. In the other cases, if you say, okay, you go in April, then it might take up 4 to 8 weeks. So this is the normal case, but there's some differences. The simple cases are, for example, you're employed and then you have your tax return and you say, okay, I get some money back. Yeah, that's great. Then, well, normally 4 to 8 weeks. But if you have a complex case, for example, your rental income, you have foreign capital gains, you have a business or something like this, or you have joint filings with your spouse, or for example, like other, for example, businesses you run with someone else, then it might take up a little bit longer. What are the factors? The factors are, if it's an easy case, no way, 4 to 8 weeks, then it's done. If it's a more complex case, then it might be missing documents, or for example, foreign income or manual reverse. Because if you have some special cases, every tax return will be checked by some human, but this only in some cases. Normally it's called RMS cases. These are the ones that get routed through by automatism, and these are normally just employed cases. High deductions is one point. If you say, okay, I had an education thing in 2025, for example, you gave up to or you paid more than, for example, 10,000 euro for your new rank on your education level, then they might ask, okay, can you explain why did you do it? What did you need it for? Why is it so high? And all this. This might take a little bit longer. But also the late submissions, also a thing. If you're now at 2024, for example, now in 2026, you will do your tax return for 2024, then also it might take a little bit longer because the German government says, okay, he let us wait, then we will let him wait. Some other things are the tax assessment notice. This is the thing you get if you have a refund. Normally it takes up to 2 to 7 days that the money will be on your bank account. This also depends on bank transfer timing. That means if you have, for example, a special bank or something like this, they might take a little bit longer. But also some partial refunds might be possible. If you have corrections or something in it, then it might not be as fast. How to speed up things? It's the easiest way. For example, just start in March. Keep up all the information, just for example, save it up in the cloud, and then you have all the information for questions. If the German government has some questions, then send it in the beginning of March with all the information. For example, if there are some explanations, give it to them, and then, for example, start with your tax return as soon as possible, for example. And then just wait for the money if you're an employer. If you have to pay money, that's a different case. For example, you're employed, but you have, for example, freelancer business besides. Then it's, for example, like this. Then you have to pay the money they want from you 4 weeks after you get your tax assessment notice. So these are the easy cases. If you have more questions, just get in the comment section below. Or if you need some consulting, then just also go in the info box and then you click on the links and then we can talk.